every time I bring this book up, everyone's like, you need to read this. How have you not read this yet? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Vanessa. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my November TBR. So in the month of November, I am participating in 2 readathons. So I'm doing NetGalley November and Winterathon. I will post the announcement videos for each readathon down below and the creators of each of those readathons. But I do have some physical reads that I'm trying to get through this month as well. So let me share my physical read plans first, and then I'll get into some of my digital plans next. So I am very on theme in this video by wearing this sweater because I think that I'm in my fantasy era this month, or at least that's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna show you all of the books that I'm reading this month, and there's a couple that I'm reading for some very specific reasons. Let's start off with the book that I am currently reading. It is November 1st, and I'm kicking off the month with The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This is a reread for me. I read this, I think, earlier this year, but the 3rd book is coming out this month. So I am planning to reread this book, and then I haven't actually read the novella, 6 Scorched Roses, or the 2nd book, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So I will be also reading these books, and I have sprints planned on my channel at the moment for all of these books, as well as the 3rd book when it comes out on November 19th. So if you're not familiar with The Serpent and the Wings of Night, it is basically a human vampire romantasy kind of story where Aurea is a human and she is brought into this vampire family. Her father is the Nightborn Vampire King. In order to become more than just the prey to all of these vampires in her world and in Nyaxia, she enters the Kajari, which is a tournament that is held by the goddess of death, and if I recall correctly, there is a wish that can be granted at the end if you win. So I already know the outcome of this, but I don't know what happens after, so I'm very excited to get into the next books. I do want to go into these books rather blind, as in not knowing too much about the synopsis of these books, so I'm not going to tell you too much about the Crowns of Nyaxia series. But so far I am flying through this. I am already on chapter 8 and I've only been reading for about an hour, so I think that I will be able to get this done this weekend, and then like I said, I have some sprints planned for the other couple of books throughout the month. I also want to talk about another series that I'm going to be picking back up, which is the Kindred Saga. So this is Spark of the Everflame. I have read this one as well, but I'm going to reread this one so that I can continue on in this series with Glow of the Everflame and then Heat of the Everflame. And these are some very chunky books. Burn of the Everflame is supposed to be coming out at some point, but we don't know yet. And here is why I will be rereading and then reading these books. The lovely Pen Cole has agreed to do an interview with the Host for Pros book club, so I'm very, very excited that she's going to be joining us. We'll be on my channel, and then Bree and Rainy are going to be joining as well, and we're going to try to figure out how to stream to all of our channels so that way we can kind of get the info out to as many people as possible who just want like a more casual sit-down chat with Pen. So in preparation of meeting her and interviewing with her, I want to read these books, and there will also be sprints for these on my channel and Bree's channel as well. So come along, join with us as we get into the Kindred Curse saga. Again, I don't want to spoil too much about what these books are about, but we have DM Bellator, who is trying to escape like her village. Her mom suddenly has disappeared, and she gains this opportunity to kind of figure out what happened, as well as learn a little bit more about the descended royalty. So if I recall correctly, this one has a group of people who are called the Descended, who wield some sort of power that the gods have given them. There are a subset of people who also don't have these powers. It has been a hot minute since I read this, and I'm questioning now if I recall anything from this, but this is why I want to reread this, because I do remember in the moment reading this and liking it, so I want to continue the series, and this is just more motivation for me to continue on in this series. I don't know if I'm selling it very well here, but I am so sorry. Hopefully hopefully after I read these books, I will know way more about them. The names and some of the things kind of seem familiar to me, but I definitely need the reread, and I'm so glad that I get to be able to do that with my friends this month. My last fantasy book that I would like to read this month is actually a buddy read for the Winterathon readathon. So we are going to be reading Guild. This is by Raven Kennedy. It is book 1 in the Plated Prisoners series. I know absolutely nothing about this book. What I do know about this is that it is a King Midas retelling. Like, you know, King Midas is the person who everything he touched turned to gold, and so I'm very curious to know what is going to happen here. I don't know, but I do know this is a series. I only have the first book in the series. I had some shelf control, so I only have the first one, and I'm honestly, I don't know whose marketing decision this was, but these are like mustard colored. Like, if they could have been some sort of metallic-y, sparkly gold, it would have been such an easy sell for me to buy the whole series, but yeah, it just kind of looks like somebody kind of failed with marketing, unfortunately, and I don't think I want to buy the books, the rest of the books in this series in this cover or this format. So I will be, if I like the series, I will be purchasing the books in a different format. And then I have 2 romance books that I am going to be reading this month. I know one of them for sure is a mandatory read, and it is the Hose for Prose book club pick, which was my pick this month. It's not fantasy, it is a dark romance that is a why choose, so Hills of Shivers and Shadows by Pam Godwin. If you do decide to join us this month, make sure you check the trigger warnings for this, because I hear this book is dark, and it is part of a series. I believe there's 3 in the series currently. All I know is that Frankie is abducted and taken to a remote cabin in Alaska, and she is at the mercy of 4 feral men. Very excited to get to this book. It is another chonky book, so it's also the month of chonky books, okay? And let me show you my last physical read this month, which is not a chonky book. It is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. So if you had watched my video, I will link that up in the cards above, but if you watched my video that was me reacting to a past book haul from a couple of years ago, I asked people out of the books that I hadn't read, which one should I read? And I tallied up all the votes among the people who commented, as well as voted on my community tab. And I had the most votes for The Love Hypothesis. The second one was actually The Measure. So that may get read at some point, but I'm for sure trying to prioritize The Love Hypothesis, and I hear nothing but good things about this book. Every time I bring this book up, everyone's like, you need to read this. How have you not read this yet? I don't know. I have no idea. I could not tell you, but I'm hoping to read it this month. And it's a lot shorter than the other ones, so it should be able to get read. I do have 3 NetGalley books that I am trying to make more of mandatory reads this month. The first one that I have is called Played by Naima Simone. And I think what I know from this is that it's a spicy sports like hockey romance, but that's about it. And I say this is more of a mandatory read because I told somebody that I would buddy read it with them. So this is on my TBR for this month, as well as Grave Matter by Karina Hale. So I have a lot of books by Karina Hale, but I don't think I've actually read anything by her. But this was listed as a like Halloween horror kind of read. I love the cover of this book and I really want to know what it's about, so it got put on my list this month. And then the last book I saw as a read now, I believe. It's called Deadstream. And what sold me about this one was Rear Window meets The Ring. I don't know what Rear Window is, but The Ring was spooky, and the rest of the synopsis sounds really spooky, so I'm hoping to do some dedicated reading vlogs about each of these books throughout the month, especially my NetGalley books, since it is NetGalley November. But these are the 3 NetGalley books that I would like to read this month and just boost my score. These are not all of the books that I have planned to read this month. These are just the ones that I like physically have and that I would consider to be more like mandatory, higher priority. But throughout the month, I'm also going to be reading some different NetGalley books or listening to some NetGalley audio arcs. I've already started listening to a couple. In terms of playing the bingo boards and the games and stuff, I think I'm kind of just going like at my own pace, like mood reading and things like that. I'm going to try to vlog throughout the month my experience, and I might have kind of a wrap-up vlog of how things went went for me. I'm not totally sure just yet because November is going to be rather hectic with several interviews going on this month. I had to reschedule from October because I got sick at the end, which you'll see a sick girl reading vlog pretty soon. And then I have other upcoming author events and books that I've already planned to read, major series. So it's a very busy month. And then I'm gearing up for December with all of the end of the year vlogmas type of stuff. So lots of content for sure to be coming out on my channel rather soon, so stay tuned for that. And if you're looking for something else to watch on my channel but not sure where to go, let me just add a couple of videos here for you. As always, I appreciate you for clicking on today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you could give me like the sparkle emoji if you've gotten to the end here to let me know that you've stopped by, just because I'm super duper excited for Spark of the Everflame and Pencoal and just everything coming up this month. It's just gonna be like a fantastic sparkly month. I will catch you guys in the next video. Hope you all have a great day. Bye!